big weekend ahead for the Boilermakers as Purdue hosts Nebraska in the final weekend of the season. Kyle Charters here for This Week in Purdue Baseball, presented by Burke Boilermaker Golf Complex. Golf season is here. Greg Goff, the head baseball coach, Ben Turner, the baseball SID. Tough weekend at Indiana this last weekend, but you look big picture, still an opportunity for your team to get into the Big Ten tournament. And as they say, you control your own destiny.
That's right.
You can win your way in. It'll be a big task against the Cornhuskers, but you have that opportunity.
We do, Kyle, and let everybody know this weekend was disappointing, to go down and to play the way we did. And I take full responsibility of that. I'm the head coach here, and just want to let all the Boilermakers know that that's not acceptable, and we address those things, and we're going to get better this week. But again, the great thing about it is we got a chance to control our own destiny and take care of Nebraska this weekend, which is a huge opportunity for us at home at Alexander Field, Kyle.
Number one, Indiana is a good team. You're going to go down there and battle against those guys. You had some things go against you, and it sort of just snowballs on you there a little bit. You can't get back in control of it. You just feel like anything in particular went wrong for your guys?
Well, we just didn't pitch, It started on Friday night, and we had won 5 out of the last 6 series. We played really, really well against Maryland, which we've gone down to Indiana and swept them just 2 weeks ago. It just started with our starting pitching. As you know, and Ben knows, our starting pitching has been basically our mainstay. Those guys have been awesome, starting with Cal and JB and Lewinsky. So we just didn't get good starts, and we got behind. We ended up scoring 10 runs on Friday night, but just wasn't enough, offensively for them. I've been watching them all year. They played probably as good as they've played all year, and we probably played as poorly as it was just a bad culmination. I think we learned a lot from our team, and hopefully our guys will respond, and I know they will.
Felt like the roughest patch of last season was probably that Penn State to Belmont stretch, middle of April. But you rebounded from that very nicely. You won a walk-off against Valpo end of April, and then Michigan comes to town, and it felt like a bad matchup on paper.
Right.
By the end of the weekend, Purdue felt great about itself. He'd won the series, he'd scored a bunch of runs, tons of hits. Michigan goes on and wins the Big Ten tournament. So clearly it was a good team. Can you kind of bottle what we saw that weekend and try to carry it over to here against Nebraska?
Well, I think so, Ben. I think, our guys have always responded, man. They're so resilient. I love this team and love what they do. We can't let one weekend identify what we've done all year. I mean, the amount of series that we've won this year. We controlled our own destiny the last weekend, and it all starts with our starting pitching. If we get good starting pitching, we got a chance. But we got to get Bolton and Kornblum and those guys. Offensively, we didn't do as well as I thought we should have this weekend as well. And we just got to play our baseball. We got to get out front. We got to get some zeros early, and we got to play out front.
One guy who deserves a shout out for how he performed in Bloomington, I thought, was Aaron Suvall.
Yes.
Gives you 5 innings, 1 run on Sunday. Granted the score wasn't where he wanted it at that point, but considering he'd only pitched like 1 inning this month,
right,
to go out there and do that after what we saw IU do the course of the weekend,
right.
I mean, hats off to him.
It was awesome. I thought him and Danley both came in and threw really well for us. And Aaron had been dealing with a little oblique issue and had to not been to throw as much as he wanted to or whatever. So, but I thought he did a tremendous job, and I think that's what hopefully our pitching staff walked away with is when we were able to get ahead. And locate our fastballs and then throw the breaking balls, for punch outs. That's what could happen. And so I thought that was a big plus for us, especially going into this weekend facing a Nebraska team that's very similar offensively to the Hoosiers.
Been on enough bus trips to know sort of how guys react to losses. I would imagine it was a tough trip back home. How do you then turn that around to getting guys back upbeat again? I would imagine with this group it's a little bit easier. You've got some veteran guys,
right?
Evan Albrecht, Cal Steven, even though he's an underclassman,
right.
Been through it a little bit, Mike Bolton and a bunch of others. How do you sort of get those guys back up again? And knowing that, there's still a lot to play for here.
There's no doubt.
3 games.
No doubt, Kyle. And we do it every week.
Right.
We hit the restart button every week. On every Monday, whether we are 5-0 or 0-5, we talk about every Monday when it hits a new week. We're 0-0. And that's what we do. In baseball, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. I mean, you turn right around and play the game the next day. So we try to be consistent in our approach and what we do, and those guys know. I text those guys yesterday in our first group text, hey, we're 0-0 this week. Let's get ready to win 3 games and have a great week.
Playing back at Alexander obviously helps. You guys have built a good home atmosphere during the last few years, but I think it's culminated certainly this year, and we should have good weather this week. A good opponent coming in as well. Just how much does that comfort help you guys this week?
Well, it's huge. I mean, what more can you ask for? We've gotten almost 2,000 people at almost every game. It's a huge home field advantage for us. Our fans have been outstanding, man. They gave the opponents a bunch of trouble and been real supportive of us. And so I can't wait, to be honest with you, man. Here it is, the last weekend of the year. You're at home. You're playing a really good opponent, and you got a lot playing for. And our guys know that. They understand that aspect. We were all disappointed, but we took day off yesterday and had great practice today.
The scenarios are fairly simple to get in. Win more games than Michigan State does, and now they have to deal with that IU lineup that we just saw, or sweep Nebraska. Yep. So win and you're in, essentially, is what it'll come down to.
That's right.
And when it's as simple as that, that's maybe reassuring as well for the coaching staff.
Well, that's the thing. That's what we talked about this morning in our coaches meeting, Ben. Like, let's just take care of business. Let's win another series. We won 5 out of 7. Let's make it 6 out of 8 or whatever. And that's what we got to do this weekend. We got to take care of business. We don't need to worry about what Michigan State does. Let's just show up and play our baseball and control what we can control. I feel good about our team. I love our team. I think we've had some really good games this year and put ourselves in a good position with 10 wins in the conference. We just got to make sure we finish 12-12 or 13-11.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about your graduates. The guys have done really well in the classroom to get to this point. Also, bounce ahead, talk a little bit about the Cornhuskers, what to expect from them this weekend. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching This Week in Purdue Baseball. It's warming up and golf season is here. As a member of the Pete Dye Golf Trail, Burke Boilermaker courses offer a variety of experiences and services for you to enjoy year-round. Visit PurdueGolf.com/clubhouse to stay up to date with all the latest deals and offerings, as well as construction and related traffic updates for the new clubhouse. That's PurdueGolf.com/clubhouse. Welcome back to This Week in Purdue Baseball. Kyle Ben and the coach Greg Goff. 6 graduates this year for you. Those guys will be honored in a ceremony before the game. The opener on Thursday. By the way, we're playing the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against the Cornhuskers. Nice to see those guys be able to finish their academic careers and to be able to be honored. It's one thing that you've done over your career here is sort of give those guys their moment.
No doubt. It's been great and so thankful that our administration sees the value of being a student athlete and having a chance to come out and make that presentation is pretty awesome, Kyle. And just proud of those guys. Proud of, it's hard. It's hard, man. Getting that degree from Purdue is a huge accomplishment in these guys' life. They not only did they do a great job in the classroom, but also on the field. And just, for me as the coach here, to see those guys get those degrees, those are life-changing things for me. And as I recruit all of them, I let them know we're going to do 3 things. We're going to play for a championship, and we're going to get that degree and hopefully get a chance to play at the next level. And getting that degree is a huge thing that changes those guys' lives. I'm really proud of them for that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, guys want to be able to play at the next level. They want to be able to play in the major leagues. Doesn't always work out.
That's right.
It works out for very few people, in fact.
Yep.
But getting that degree can last a lifetime.
Huge, it does. And we all get done playing at some point, whether it's 5 years from now or right now. And so these guys have did a tremendous job for our program. Really proud of them. And, that's the next step in life for them is getting those degrees and then finding those jobs and getting out into the real world from there. So.
And you got senior day on Saturday, always part of the home finale. Nice to get the moment with the parents and everybody on the field together and see that group with those jerseys. That's an image that always sticks in my head from the season.
It is, Ben, and we've had so blessed to have some great families be a part of this thing. And as you know, I'm with these guys more than my own family, to be honest with you. And they, treat them as though they're my sons. And it's a very challenging day for me as a coach, just because of the emotional part of it and knowing that this is the last time I get a chance to be with them on a daily basis and things like that. And I love what I do, and I think that's a huge blessing for me. And it's emotional for me on that Saturday, as you've seen before.
I said this going into the 2021 season when your team opened against Nebraska in Texas. Mm-hmm. We haven't played them very much.
Right.
It has a non-conference feel to it, in my opinion, in some ways, especially that 21 season where we were in Texas. Yeah. It's a conference weekend to open, like nobody had seen that before. They haven't been to Alexander since March of 16. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I know. Now, they were supposed to come in 2020, and obviously it didn't happen.
Right.
But we just haven't played them very much for whatever reason. And now here it is, a big series that is conference. And
there's no doubt, no doubt. And they're good. They're really good. And Coach Boat and his staff do a tremendous job. And, it's crazy because I think the last time that we played Nebraska in a real weekend series was probably Coach Wise's last year here out there at Nebraska. And we hadn't seen them very much for whatever reason. So big weekend this weekend. They're coming to Alexander, so hopefully, it's going to be a great weekend for us.
The pitchers will have to be on it. Certainly, they've got a couple of big bats in that lineup, and Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson. I mean, those two guys are probably two of the premier hitters in the Big Ten.
They are. They're as good as anybody in the Big Ten, to be honest with you, Colin. Those guys are professional hitters.
Yeah.
Professional players. You'll hear their name on the with the draft, and they got a number of guys. They've set I think Nebraska record for home runs already, and they got some big, strong, physical, good-looking dudes. It'll be a great challenge for us. I can't wait, and hopefully everybody get a chance to come out and see us get after these guys on Thursday night.
Well, if you know one thing about your team, we know that they will respond. It'll be a great weekend against the Cornhuskers. Starting again on Thursday, that series, 6 o'clock Thursday and Friday, 2 o'clock on Saturday for those games. The weather should be great. It'll be a big series. Good luck, and let's get to Omaha.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for our show for this week. Thanks to everybody all season long for helping put this together. The players who have been able to attend with us. The class schedules, we got to work through those at times, but we've been appreciative of their time throughout the season as well. All right, that'll do it for us. Ben Turner, Greg Goff. I'm Kyle Charters. Thanks for watching This Week in Purdue Baseball, presented by Burke Boilermaker Golf Complex.